approaching the very important festival, Shavuot, which is the time that we accept the Torah. Very important festival. In fact, it has also many names. The names are within the letters, abbreviation, like Shin, Shavuot, Bikurim. Shavuot even from weeks, 7 weeks that we counted. Bet, Bikurim, the first fruit, which are brought on this time. And Ein, Atzeret, this is the name which is given to this festival, Atzeret. Then Shavuot Vav is the 6th, the date, and Taf is Torah, and we got so amazingly. Letters which abbreviation represents the time. Now we are going today to combine really two topics because they are connected. Unfortunately, things that they are not, but they are very connected. And those really are in my book about the zodiacs. Then I speak about Gemini, about this month connecting with the Torah. And then the book which is about the festival, the mystical glory of the festival, is also, I spoke about Shavuot there. So it very much wants to combine these two because they are connected. And we see how beautiful connection is between the two. Now, let us start with the zodiac, with the natural thing. And then, just now, I will mention to you the main ideas of my book, as we said. And this is really what we are going to see. What is the month of 7, Gemini, what the zodiac represent, and the star, the character. And one should know that these things are connected with Judaism, also with Kabbalah. It is even the Zohar which says, Lama nitna Torah b'mazal tomim. This is really the translation of this word. But he said, Lama begin ma na Torah Lama Israel b'teomim. Why the Torah was given to Israel in the month of the zodiac Teomim, Gemini, the twins. So the Zohar said because Yaakov represents twins. Why? Yaakov represents twins. He had a twin, Esau. But why represent twins? So the Zohar really explained that this is behind his words that Yaakov became twins because he took upon himself also the part of the first born one, it means the first birthright, which Jacob sold him. So once he got his share in the service of God, so he had to work very hard spiritually, so learning Torah, but not only this, he had to work a lot also in the world. This was a work of Esau, but he did not want. So this was Yaakov. So this really the Zohar calls Yaakov Tomim, twins. So this is the month of Gemini twins, representing really. This was the Zohar says it was given on this month, yeah. This zodiac. This is the right zodiac to give it. But we see some others good signs with this month to the Torah. So basically, the months I wrote in my book goes with fear together, mainly with the pair 3. To start with, definitely, this is like Chesed, loving kindness, Abraham. This is the month of Nisan. Nisan, Pesach, loving kindness, helping a lot, unity. Then comes the month of the Taurus, ox. This is the month of, which is called Gvura, Isaac. We have to work hard. And then comes the month of Gemini, which is Sivan. And this is against the Midah, the attribute of Tiferet, of harmony. Harmony which is combining loving kindness, Abraham and Isaac, right and left, yeah, in a positive way. So this is harmony, this is Tiferet. Yeah, this is Tiferet, and this is Sivan, which is exactly, and this Midah is from Yaakov. Yaakov is Tiferet, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Therefore, definitely this is exactly the right time to give the Torah. By the way, also the Torah connecting with the number 3. Yeah, you can see it's very famous part of the text Shabbat. When the Gemara Talmud Shabbat brings beautiful sentence which saying the following. This is really seen. Baruch Gelelai was a man from the Galilee who blessed God, who gave a triple Torah to a triple nation on the triple months, on the triple day, by triple people. Very interesting sentence brought in the Gemara Shabbat. So, few explanation. What is the 3, the number 3? Because we said that 3 represents harmony, yeah? And Shabbat and Torah to do with this. So therefore, what are those 3? So 3 are the 3 parts of the Torah. Yeah, in the Torah we have Torah, Nevi'im, Ktuvim. We have the Torah, the Bible, and the Scriptures. Some say it refers to the 3 dimensions of the Torah, which is the simple meaning, the homiletic, the drash, and the secret. So triple 3, right? Then it was given to the triple nation, which is Jewish people. You have 3 parts: the Kohanim, the priests, and the Levites, and Israel. By the way, it is also mystically connected to the brain, the people of mind, also our teachers. This was the priests were, and the people of the emotions, those were the Levites, was the orchestra were playing, singing in the temple to provoke people by the beautiful music. This is the heart, Levite, Levi, Levi, to do with the heart. And Israel, the ordinary people, definitely got all this highly influenced from the priests and the Levites. So 3 parts. And the Torah also fits its 3 kind of people. Then he gave it on the 3rd month. Sivan, we said, the 3rd month, this is Tiferet, exactly the right time. By the way, it is so interesting to point out that when Jews came to Sinai, standing next to the mountain, it was the 45th day to the Omer. Now we count the Omer, the days, and the 45th one was Rosh Chodesh, when they came. And about this day is written, Va'ichan Israel keneged Har. And the Jewish people encamped opposite the mountain. And in Hebrew, the word encamp can be definitely in plural, Va'yachanu, when it refers to many camps, and Va'ichan in one camp. So our rabbis tell us it was the only time that Jews were united. They were like really one people. And Va'ichan, this is written in singular. Also some point out beautifully the idea of the word Va'ichan. Va'ichan has to do with chen, in Hebrew is grace. So it means that at that time every Jew finds grace in his fellow man, in the eyes of his fellow man. Yeah? He understood and knew that God gave each person his destiny, his part, his goal in the work of God, serving God. And his friends have different talents to work on his way. So everyone goes, so these Jews appreciate each other. Yeah, they understood, okay, he's greater, he's more brilliant. No, okay, this is his work. You have to work hard in this area. So, Va'ichan, amazingly, the number 45, is the 45th day of this day of Rosh Chodesh, when they came near Sinai, is numerical value of the Hebrew word Adam. Adam is a man. Now, by the way, you don't have plural in Adamim. You don't have Adamim. You have Nefesh, Nefashot, you have Ish, Anashim. But Adam is the expression of unity only. Yeah? Is it in Israel Kurim Adam? Israel are called Adam. So unfortunately, misunderstanding brought a lot of trouble to Jews because of this. Because they said, look, well, Jews are human beings and others are not. But just not this. The idea is the Kurim Adam, because Adam, opposite, is written in the Goyim, the Gentile called Adam, Zemen. But Adam is for Jews because this is a expression, a word, which don't have any plural. Because this is what Jews are. Suppose they are like one body, like the body have different parts, the eyes, the nose, and so on. Then also Jews the same, but they are Adam, they are unit. Something which is not so much by going, because this is also the idea that why Jews, when Jews have trouble in one place, the other place is also suffering, Unfortunately, when Jews look like wrong this, so comes the other countries and say, we have to punish Jews there also. So, the Adam, this is exactly the right meaning and word suits the Jews being one unit. And this is exactly what happened when God came to Sinai, the place of the Torah. So important teaching. Now, going more into the idea that we mentioned before, connecting this month to astrology, let us say, is also in astrology, as mentioned before, you have 3 parts. It means the first month, like Aries, is called like a fixed month. Then another name, and the third one, this is the most interesting, is called changing one. Yeah, a month of changing, of changes, better to say. And so every 3 in the cycle of 12 months have this. So let us see what really happened to Jewish people, to history of Jews during this month. So, as we said, Aries, fixed one, Taurus, the songs to do with Goa, with strength, and then comes this month, Gemini, which is changing one, a month of changing. What happened to Jews this time? They were changed from nation of slaves, people who were slaves before, into a people of the Torah, kingdom of priests, holy nation. A big change, with a month of change. Then let us carry on. We have next month Tammuz, Av, Elul, Cancer, Leo. Then we come to Virgo, Elul. Which kind of changes happen in Elul? It's a time of tshuva, of repentance. This is a time given to Jews to repent. If they did sins, committed sins, this is a time to change and to come into Rosh Hashanah, into the days of awe, really pure, clean. So again, months of changing in history, months of change in Jewish history. Let us carry on, coming to Tishrei, Cheshvan and Kislev, going through Tishrei, the month of the holidays, definitely the month of Venus is a star, and carrying on the month of Cheshvan, month of Mars, definitely the Scorpio, as we know. Then coming to the month of Kislev, Hanukkah. Hanukkah. This is the third one that's changing. Which changes happened? Oh, it was a big change. Israel were in a danger of annihilation spiritually. So many Jews became Greeks, adopted the Greeks culture, cut themselves from the Torah, caused impurities to everything pure. And really it was Matityahu and his sons, Asmonaim, the few who managed to change the situation from darkness to light. Hanukkah. Big change, no doubt. On the third month of change. Amazing how Jewish history fits with the nature, because Jews are above. And Mazal Israel, this my book is called Above the Zodiac, because we are above. So if sometimes you see, like Pharaoh saw in the stars, and he was right, the danger of annihilation or extermination to the Jewish people, which was like this after they were sinning with the golden calf, but they did tshuva, they repent, and this repentance, they did change their life, yeah. And now coming to the months of Pisces, after going from Kislev, from the Keshet, Sagittarius, and we come to the third one of the Capricorn, come to Pisces, and Pisces changing. Also a big change. We have Haman at that time, who made already a decree, and the king agreed, and there was really nothing to stop, to finish off, to exterminate, annihilate the Jewish people. No doubt, we know history. Yeah, this is exactly what Haman want to do today, the Haman of this time in Iran. And Jews repented, they did tshuva, they became united, and we know we had Purim, wonderful celebration. Yeah, exactly for this great change. It's amazing to see what's in astrology. Might be that they will give you advice to change yourself on this month. In Jewish history, we see clearly the great changes of this time. Definitely the idea is that God created nature for the Torah, yeah, to serve the Torah. So, amazing connection between this month of change, to the nature. So, more about the connection of the Zodiac, of Gemini and Torah, we find in other interesting things, because as astrologists see this month, and practically they show that it is real, it's a month of communication, interesting, communication. And especially people who are in media and so on have to do with this month. I mean, this is a month of really communication, joining of things together. I mean, and this is exactly the month for Torah, which needs very much the unity, connection between men and men, communication of people. And this is the most important, one can say, as we saw, Vayichan Israel, that we need for accepting the Torah, which is also. Now the star which affects this month is Mercury. In Hebrew it's called Kochav, Mercury. By the way, Mercury is the quickest of all other planets, and is also called the scribe of the sun, but very much, according to astrology, to do with the mind, yeah, brilliant minds, good minds. Mercury means mainly thinking, and this is exactly to do with the Torah that we got, yeah, to complete us intellectually, which is contextually, but the brain, to understand, understanding and all these things which to do with the brain, with thinking, with understanding, which this star really represents, interesting, of this month. So, even the star also shows clearly about this connection. So altogether, all the things that we saw up till now connecting the nature, the month, astrology and Torah. Yeah. By the way, there is a tractate, Talmud, which speaks in the tractate Shabbos, really, 5-6 pages about the stars, about the meaning of the stars, about the effects of the stars, because this is part of creation, part of creation. So, and we have a principle in Mazal Israel that we are above the Zodiac. This means that we are able to change the decrees of disaster, of death, whatever it is, by keeping Torah mitzvot. As we said, the famous story with Pharaoh. Pharaoh told the Jewish people, you are going to the desert. I see clearly in the start mouth that you're going to be bloodshed to your examination. And he was right, because really after the sealing of the golden calf, Jews got very close. He wanted to destroy them and to start with Moses a new nation. Yeah, Moses praying and Jews doing Shavuot, change the situation. But he was right. He saw this Mars, the sign of bloodshed. Interesting that in a positive way, bloodshed in Judaism represents circumcision. Brit Milah is also some kind of bloodshed, but this is to purify, to clean. And this is an interesting, clear example that there is something. It is so interesting also that our rabbis tell us there is a Midrash, there's the Amalekite, we have the Amalekite of today, Iran and so on. But the Amalekites in the past, our rabbis said they were expert in astrology. They knew exactly also when is the best time to do this or to do this, this is what is written. And our rabbis tell us that they exactly calculated the best time to fight with Jews and to destroy them. Amazing, And because of this, our rabbis told us amazing story. The Torah indicates that because of this, God had to stop some kind of movement of the stars, that it will not happen. Frightening. Because of this, the sun, I think, did not come, it means on the right time, but came 2 hours later. It shows you that we cannot disregard the stars. They have something, According to the Jewish law, by the way, is written that one should not go and to ask astrologists what will be, what to do. No. Maybe they can ask about natural things, what is their nature, their attributes, and so on, whether they fit another one. But concerning happenings in future and so on, definitely not. This is halacha. But from the other side, the Rama, which means no subtitle, but there is another opinion which says that if you went, it happened. You did not know the law. Not everyone knows that is not allowed. And he went to an astrologist. And the astrologist told him, you are in danger. So, don't disregard it. You have to pray, to do good things, mitzvot, because there's something behind. So, coming back to Shavuot, as we said, clearly indicates the greatest time, to change with the Torah, definitely. And that really is the best time to study, to learn, to use the brain. And this is really the time the Jews became a nation, became kings, became a holy nation, Am Chacham Ben Apoy, they became a nation of wisdom, of understanding. This is what the Torah is. This is exactly the idea. Other also interesting things to do with astrology and Judaism and Torah, to see how month goes together, which means the following. The Ari Rabbi Isaac Luria says that the 6 months of the winter are couples to the 6 months of summer. It means 6 and 6, 6 and 6. Interesting. And therefore, each one, being a couple, definitely elevates or completes something which the other one did not do, like couple. For example, the first month in summer is Eris Pesach. Jews came out of Egypt, the time of spring, beautiful time, and this is a time which is parallel to the month of Tishrei. What we have in Tishrei, the 15th of Tishrei, where Sukkot, like we have on the 15th of Nisan, there is Pesach. What is the connection? Simple. Coming out of Egypt. They came out of Egypt on Nisan. Then, on sukkahs, they built sukkahs when they were in the desert, the reason why they built sukkahs, those huts, different reasons, because of the heat or for different opinions, to defend them. Whatever it is, it was another stage from the beginning of Nisan. Now, what is really the continuation of Sivan? Sivan being the third in the summer, and who is the third one in winter? Hanukkah. Yeah, Hanukkah. What is the connection? Why are couples where they complete each other? So it is known that Hanukkah is called the festival of the oral Torah. Because really, the oral Torah, the development of oral Torah started on Hanukkah, and the Asmonean definitely built up, according to the Ra, some new things. And Hanukkah itself, it is a mitzvah which is not in the Torah. It is rabbis who did this mitzvah. So this is the oral Torah. So what is the idea? Simple. Sivan, Gemini, is a time because the written Torah. It is known that the oral Torah, the Jewish people did not want to accept. Yeah, so they accepted only the written Torah. They accepted the oral Torah on Purim, basically, in loving out of love. But in fact, the oral Torah, the festival oral Torah, is in Hanukkah. This is the time of the, as we said, the third month in the winter, again the third one in summer. So written Torah, Sivan, oral Torah, Kislev. So again we see this beautiful idea. And also, as we said before, the connection of being festivals or times of changes, yeah, fits with the astrology on this month. Now, let us really go more into this idea, connecting the festival of Shavuot to the astrological, call it astrology, let us call it astrology, but what it is really so interesting in the connection is the idea of the character, as we said, mentioned before a little bit, but what is known to be a lot in the Book of Formation, related to Abraham, relating letters to the months. The world was created with letters. Reshit bara Elokim et. In the beginning, God created et, from Aleph to Tav, all the letters. And on this letter, you build up the creation, the physical creation. This is really the most known idea in Kabbalah about the creation of the world, with letters. Right? It means, as I wrote in my book, Letters of Fire, a lot about it. It's like every letter represents different foundation, and definitely all those foundations, like in chemistry, you have to build up things by joining different chemistries. Like I gave example, like you have in English H2O. It means the water are built up of hydrogen, oxygen, and hydrogen. H2O. In fact, if you translate it to letter in Hebrew, the letter Mem is Memain, hydrogen. This is the Book of Formation, says that God created the hydrogen with the letter Mem. This is like Mem is like Maim, only lacking the Yud. But it is, yeah, hydrogen. So the Hebrew word Maim is Mem, Yud Mem. So Mem is Maim, hydrogen, Mem, Meiman, and Chamsan. Oxygen is a Chamsan. So you have the hydrogen, Mem, you have oxygen, O, yeah, which is on top, a little bit higher, and again you have the hydrogen. So basically, water are built up for the letters Mem, Yud, Mem. Meiman, Yud represents Chamsan. Yud is a letter of life. This is why in Avir, Maim, I mean, you have the letter Chaim, 2 Yudim. So Yud is a letter of oxygen. So basically, the build-up of water is hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. You can see it. So therefore, the letters are part of creation. Every letter has a meaning and symbolizes. But it's so interesting that the month of Sivan is built up with the letter Zayin. Zayin is the letter, the 7th letter of the alphabet, also represents kingdom, meaning. But Zayin had 2 meanings. Interesting, this Orthodox says and others bring. In Hebrew, Zayin means for mazon, food. Yeah, mazon, lazun, hazan et haolam. And Zayin means also weapon. By the way, Kabbalistically, the shape of the Zayin is like a sword, right? The letter Zayin, if you know Hebrew, is like a sword. Yeah, a sword. Yeah. What is the idea? Weapon to do with Sivan. So, the idea is amazing. This is what is written in books, mystical books, that the Torah, as we find the Torah is like spiritual food for us. Yeah, if a man really want to live properly, you have to learn properly and believe, Ki Em Chayenu, this is our life, yeah? This is the food, that we need the food. You know, there are great people, you know, like Rav Simon Zatzal and others, Chazon Ish, hardly used to eat, hardly used to sleep, and still they lived a quite long life. Why? Because this was their life, the Torah, studying Torah all the time, give life. And this is the idea of the letter Zayin, represent Mazon, Lazun. Then the Torah is weapon. Here is written that by studying Torah, learning Torah properly, we are able to fight and to win in our wars against our nations. Yeah? Many verses says, right, that by learning Torah, the Torah is our weapon. Yeah? In order to fight with our enemies, not the weapon cannot help physical one. Yeah. Only spiritual, the Torah, and we can see so many miracles. Take the 6-day war. Half of Tel Aviv was ready for cemetery because physically they did not think that we'd be able to fight against more than 100 planes. We were ready to attack Israel. So miracles happened. Yeah. In fact, it is interesting. If now knows that even the government asks yeshiva boys to learn all the time. So it was 24 non-stop learning in yeshivas. So this is what the Zayin represents, the letter of this month. It's telling us that you must know that Torah is your weapon. Not the tanks, not the planes, the F-35, but whatever it is. Not this will help you. What will help you studying Torah, God will help you. Therefore be careful not to desecrate the Torah, not to desecrate the Sabbath, which is the basis of Torah. So, amazing thing, connection between letter of the month to the Torah. In fact, in my book about I went through all the months and showed such beautiful examples and to show really the connection of the months to the letter so clearly in a very beautiful way. So, as I said, we are living now a very important time, Shavuot, and we need a weapon, and we need very strong weapons, according to this, unfortunately, Hamani, and in Iran, and the terrorists, and Hamas, and all those who try to fight us, and unfortunately, serious. Now we have Shavuot, really a time of learning Torah, really to absorb everything in the Torah, and then we'll have the weapons, and we'll have the food to exist and to fight all our enemies. So there's a lot to discuss really about Shavuot and about the science around it. It is so rich. See, and I said, I will really advise to see my books, dealing with astrology, dealing with the festivals, and you will see so beautifully how things come out. Only another idea to do with Shavuot is, that Shavuot It's called in the Talmud, wherever it is, Atzeret. Yeah, Atzeret. Now, Atzeret means gathering, unity, and it has very interesting numerical value, which clearly shows what Shavuot is. Also, Gematria clearly showed. Now, Atzeret, in Gematria, numerical value, Ayin is 70, Tzadik is 90, Resh is 200, and Taf is 400. If you take all this together, you come to 760. Very interesting, 760. 760 is the Gematria, the numerical value of the 3 upper spheres. You know there are 10 spheres. Now the 7 spheres, which is love incarnate, strength, harmony, eternity, glory, and foundation, those are the 7 weeks, the 7 spheres that we worked on from Passover, Pesach till Shavuot. Now what happened with the upper 3, which have to do with the brain? The right side of the brain, the left one. And those are the spheres of Keter, which is crown, the sphere of Chokhmah, wisdom, and understanding. Those are the upper 3. So those really are the main spheres, the upper 3. So in Hebrew, there are, as we said, Keter come to 620, Chokhmah to 73, and Binah to 67, together 760. What it shows you, what Atzeret is, Shavuot is a day, very, very spiritual, very high one, which have to do with these upper spheres. Now another Gematria of 760, always written, is Ashor ve'Achamor, the ox and the donkey. Yeah? Shor, Chamor, 760. What is the idea? So we know the ox, Shor, represents Edom, the nation of Edom, today, parts of Europe. And the donkey represents materialism, lust, to do with Arabs, Ishmael. So Ishmael and Edom are known to be, the symbol of them really are ox and donkey. Ox and donkey come also 76, 60. Why? Because they are the opposite. Two, in negative, because ox and donkey represent in positive way. Shor is a symbol of Yosef, like is written, Jacob said in the blessing to Yosef, Chor Shor Azarlo. And donkey represents Mashiach ben David. Messiah ben David also represents Torah, learning, because the tribe of Torah, Issachar, is also in Chamor Garim, also, compared to donkey, who take upon himself burdens, difficulties in study. Yeah, so the donkey have good things. Ox also. In negative, this is unfortunately enemies of Israel, and also enemies of men, because the ox represent pride, and the donkey represent lust, and these are really mainly the main enemies to the men. Yeah. So Shavuot, having the same numerical value, teaching us that in Shavuot, by studying Torah, you elevate yourself to a very high level, and you get the power to fight against your enemies. Thus Edom, today we see Europe, was joined Iran, unfortunately, there is a good part of Edom, which is Trump, which helps Israel, but unfortunately the other ones more interested in other physical, materialistic things, don't see more than this. And definitely the Arabs, that we have today, from Iran, Islam, the Arabs come from Ishmael. So really exactly those are, unfortunately, the enemies of us these days, very strongly. So this Shavuot we have to work very hard to study Torah properly, to change ourselves, yeah. As we say, that really Shavuot is a time that you can accept the Torah. It's written in Kabbalistic book that really every Shavuot you have kind of the same influence. abundance of wisdom coming down, right? If a man really prepare himself properly, he can reach it, he can feel it even, yeah? So now we are in very important time, also time which is very suitable for Mashiach, and let us hope that the Atzeret, which is Shor and Chamor, Shor is Mashiach ben Yosef, and Chamor is Mashiach ben David. He will write on a donkey, but it's not donkey that he will write about materialism. And this is exactly the numerical of Atzeret. So, important day is coming to us, especially comes after Shabbos. You know, Shabbos is a good preparation for it. This is why the Torah was given on Sinai on Shabbos, because Shabbos is very important for Torah. Keeping Shabbos is very, very important for it. So let us hope that really this Shavuot will manage to build ourselves as we should, just in the desert, and then to deserve really full redemption and getting what we want to. Messiah, son of Joseph, son of David, will help us to chase away from us our enemies, those of Iran, those of Edom, who are trying to do all troubles to Jews. And this is the time for it. So let us really make use of every second in this important festival, Shavuot, and let us hope that soon we'll have Messiah coming and bring peace and tranquility to the whole world.